Last panel of the day, and the title is Hype Cycle, Data, Loyalty, E-commerce, and Travel Trends. A bit of a word salad, but let's take a look at this. All of you represent different types of companies, airlines, service providers, and partners. So tell me, what are some of the latest trends you all are seeing when it comes to how consumers are using your technology in relation to planning and booking trips, or how your companies are working with your airline partners to help them be better? So Sarah, I'm going to ask you to start. What's new with TAP?
Why do you always start with me?
Because you're sitting in the center. We just heard from Dirk. Come on.
So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again, and good afternoon also to my colleagues in the panel. Is this your question? Is this the question about the consumer behavior? What are we really seeing as a change or a movement in that?
Yeah.
Okay, just to see if I got it. So I think that year after year, at least since the pandemic, we see a lot of the same discussions and the same topics. And I don't mean to say that it's not interesting. I think that we can always learn. But it's really easy to say that, the consumer trend or the consumer behavior is much more now on the side of sustainability and servicing. Yes, but nowadays it's already common sense. So I think that I would highlight two, not trends, but facts. So we see much more, not only the solo travelers, but solo travelers that are looking for a meaningful experience. And the meaningful experience should start, and I'm speaking as an airline, of course, must start when they are planning for that meaningful experience. So we have also the responsibility not only of providing a meaningful experience when it comes to boarding, being at the airport, on flight, after, but also when we are providing the information and the recommendations. There is always a commercial interest, yes, let's be honest, but we really do need to tackle that sense of purpose when people now are looking for travel. And last but not least, yes, the consumers are more and more conscious of what technology can enable, exactly to have or to allow to enable these meaningful experiences while traveling and while they are in their destination. But they are also very conscious about the fact that we are all trying to use AI, not only to facilitate our work, but also to produce content. So please, let's be very aware that the AI check is now a reality on the palm of the hands or on their mobile phone, and they are also trying to understand when an airline or a hotel or a travel agency is putting content that it's not really meaningful in the sense that it's not real. So I do really advise, or no, not advise, because if that would be that good, we would sell it and not give. But my perspective on that is that we should really try to produce humanized content when it comes to inspiration, recommendation, and really trying to add value to that intention of having a meaningful experience. And that's it.
No, that's a lot. But let me ask, we've heard people cite statistics that 60 or 70% of consumers say they would trust an AI tool over a human. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, no, AI is not quite there yet. It's not as meaningful, or won't be as meaningful. So that's interesting to hear you say that. Tell me more why.
So
excuse me.
It's not by chance that these AI checks have come, right? And they're there. More and more, not only companies, reviews, but also end users are using it really to understand if that content was AI produced or not. And I think there's a difference between relying on AI from gathering information point of view, and another thing is relying on AI to really know what is meaningful. Because consumers also understand that behind that information might be a lot of commercial interests. So if I'm planning for a trip to Tibet because I want to have very deep meet with myself, with my inner me, probably I will not rely on suggestions from an AI solution. I will go and search for a blogger that I know that experiences a lot about this. I will talk to a friend. I will go to a travel agency that is very much into these sort of experiences. For example, sports. Sports traveling or sport-related traveling, sports tourism is much more now into this meaningful experience than it was before. We had marathonists really looking for traveling, but now we have a huge sort of different sports that really trigger a travel experience. And they do rely on other practitioners to tell them where can they have a really, truly meaningful experience when it comes to sports. So why not working in partnership with that sort of influencer, not a traditional influencer from what we know of this term, but really bring them in and helping us in producing this meaningful content, human certified. So
that's interesting. So I hear you about the importance of the humanity, and I agree with you on that. At the same time, when we're trying to create digital experiences, we need the data to be able to do this. We heard Dirk talk about this with BA and the evolution that they're doing there. What steps can airlines take to build better data capabilities that will give them the more comprehensive views they need of the traveler, of the customer, and then use that information, whether it is customer data, operational data, commercial data, whatever, to create more engaging experiences and ultimately be more successful? Go ahead, sure.
Yeah. Actually, that's an interesting point in terms of trends. I've been in the industry since now like 25 years, and when I started working into purely filing topics, so I was only talking at the airlines on filing, and then I moved to pricing, and I was dealing with pricing teams, and I moved to network, and I was dealing with network, etc., etc. What changed in a very significant manner over the last 25 years is that now, whenever I meet an airline, I meet all the departments in one go. And that's what has completely changed with the discussions we are having with airlines. As a data provider, now our objective is to have a 360-degree customer view on whatever data we have. We are unifying all our supply, demand, and pricing data. And that's the major change we've been seeing over the last many years, but especially in the last very few years, because now the different silos within the airlines, and I might be wrong, but you will tell me, are kind of breaking down, and everything is interconnected. And again, as a data provider, we need to follow that trend and make sure that whatever data we provide is unified, providing a 360-degree customer view.
Serdar, what's your thought from Turkish?
Yeah, I will start by the AI part of it. So I rely on AIs on my trips. For the latest 2 trips, I actually used a lot, and I think, like many other businesses, in travel also AI will be a crucial part, because we see that, as you explained, Jerome, we use data a lot. For the last 10 years, many airlines have built big data platforms, data warehouses, and started to use that data. From Turkish Airlines' perspective, we actually try to collect all data in every touch points with customers and the operational aspects as well. So by using this data, by analyzing and creating models, predictive models, so we use these in order to improve our operations. And not just operations, we use these in order to provide better personalized offers for the customers as well. And since the pandemic, actually, I have seen an increasing trend in terms of using digital channels from the customer's point of view, because we see there are so many consumers that have not experienced an e-commerce before pandemic. They have started to use e-commerce to buy their groceries as well. So when looking at our perspective, so we see so many customers are started to use our websites, mobile application more often to book their tickets. And when they book from our channels, they want to do all the stuff within the digital channels, because back then they were trying to call center to get a service. Now they want to do all the stuff, all the servicing in their mobile applications. And it gives us the ability to talk with the customers in a better way, because in digital channels, we know the customer 360. We know the history, we know the search, we know what service we gave them, and we can better serve them in a digital way. That's why I think data will play a crucial role in the next years. And with the help of Gen AI and these type of technologies, actually we will be able to serve more passengers in the same cost that we have, that we actually faced using this data.
Hemant, what about from Cognizant's standpoint?
Yeah, but I think my fellow panelists, covered most of the great things, and I think in my mind the magic which we always see is more on the AI side, but I think there is a lot of hard work which needs to be done before we actually start creating the AI magic. And for me, I think what I call this as, maybe this is something which I just made it up right now, I think it is, 4 things, B, F, A, Q, right? So when I say B, it is the business architecture, the business use case, the business involvement, and the business data literacy. When I say F, it is the right data foundation. What data foundation meaning? The right data, the right technology choices. A is the architecture, right? The right architecture. And then Q meaning the right data quality. So if you combine all of this together, then I think that is the time when you can get all the capabilities and all the power of data to do the kind of integration of customer, operational, and all other data, and then really create the kind of magic which AI can create. I think that at least would be my viewpoint.
Okay. We've heard discussion today about loyalty, and the challenge that exists in creating even just preference, let alone true loyalty. So aside from loyalty programs, what steps can airlines take to make their customers care more about seek them out and care more about that relationship? Mm-hmm. Again, loyalty certainly is the objective we want, but we don't want people shopping just based solely on price and viewing us as commodities. So how are you doing this? Dirk, I'm going to start with you. You've got the new website coming. So is that part of what you guys were looking at as part of the new transformation of the British Airways website, to find ways to make people, frankly, appreciate the fact that they're on the BA website and that they would be traveling with BA versus, any airline?
When I take your question literally, I would say have an excellent product fly on time, answer calls when there are calls. Yes, definitely also to your point, have a good digital experience if that's the channel you interact. So I think there are so many things that come before a loyalty program, right, in that world. And that's what I would feel what the overall BA transformation, if I can talk about that quickly again, is about, to improve the product, to improve the punctuality and all these. And we know Anko has been sitting here 3 hours ago or so from SAS, for those who are CEO of SAS who have not been here. And he said, and that's true, 70% of NPS rely on OTP, right? So just consistent performance. And I feel if I look at BA in general terms, that's where we go back to in order to create the loyalty, have the exceptional product and deliver it consistently, and then, yes, talk about it and make it available and visible back now to the website experience so they can see it there. Simple things, our seat looks different than other seats, but you cannot see it today. Not even talking about indirect channels, of course, where you cannot see anything. So it's an element to support the loyalty, to show it, but overall, I think the overall repetitive experience is what creates loyalty. Okay. And we haven't, as an industry, not been very good at that over the last 3 years. Right?
Okay, that's fair. Sarah, yes?
May I build on that? So, you know, about loyalty programs, I think, well, I truly believe that to add value, we must start by doing ourselves, or within the companies, basic question, which is, what's the objective of our loyalty program? Do we have it, or do we want to have it as a commercial tool only? Or is it really to attract and retain and know our customers better so that we can really engage with them, really personalize their experience, really personalize the offer, and grow with them, but to them also. Speaking for TAP, we are exactly having this conversation. We have a very traditional, well, it's working well, but it's traditional loyalty program, and it has the first approach. It is mainly a commercial tool, and to grow in a sustainable way, we must do it with passengers. More passengers, paying more if possible, but that's how we can grow sustainably. And for that, the approach for a loyalty program must at least change a bit. It's not that we must turn a loyalty program into just something that it's charity. That's not the point. But it's really working on loyalty, putting ourselves in the passenger's shoes and understanding what they do they expect from an airline when the airline states that we have a loyalty program, please come, use it, redeem your miles, buy more miles, share your miles, whatever it is, what they are really expecting from us now. Because for sure, what they expect now is really, really different from what they were expecting 5 years ago. So that move across loyalty programs, I think it's a must-do.
Yeah,
Can I add one
Sure,
thing?
go ahead.
I was surprised when you said that it's for collecting data and understand your customers better, because we would look at it like the moment somebody touches our digital channels primarily, we would try to build a profile, of course, under legal umbrellas and terms, even if he or she is not a person in our loyalty program.
It's just an IP
so
address.
From that angle, I would look at it as almost being two different
Because the more,
things.
if you have a loyalty program, then people really not only adhere, but use it as an engagement tool, that profile will have much more on the attitudinal profiling, less on the quantity or on the usual KPIs. And that attitudinal profile, it really requires that you have a different sort, not only of data collection, but the understanding, the way that we work on that data. And from what I've seen in other loyalty programs, even outside the industry, that's where you really start having not only figures, not the usual KPIs, not knowing how many times they did log in, how many miles do they have, what sort of flights or experience or traveling do they do. That profile, yes, you can have even if you don't have a loyalty program, but a customer-centered loyalty program that looks into the engagements and the vision 5, 10 years down the line can give you a lot more on the attitude, on the family context, on the professional context of that person, and that will take your possibilities of personalization and upselling and cross-selling to a completely different level. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
That's the way I see it.
Jerome,
Yeah, I just wanted to give my point of view, but from a frequent flyer, so from a traveler a perspective, because my view on loyalty has dramatically changed. I remember that when again, a few years ago, I was a Air France frequent flyer because it's my flagship company, and I was trying to earn as many miles as possible to go on weekends with my wife. And now I kind of moved away loyalty programs because I am sorry, but I'm not really into that now. That's not my main focus. My main focus when I travel now is simplicity and transparency. So obviously I travel a lot. I have many business travels, so I don't have the option to choose TAP because maybe TAP is not flying to the destination I fly. But if I have the choice between 2 or 3 airlines, I choose the one that brings the most transparency. And that kind of brings also a topic which is a very actual topic, right? Because you as airlines and we as IT players within our industry, we are trying to unbundle and to make as many options for our customers, to bring as many context around an offer. But at the end of the day, as a traveler, what matters to me is simplicity and transparency. I want to book my tickets in a fast way, and I want to choose the ancillaries I really need. And I want to stop skipping and skip cars and skip insurance and I know that I just want a front seat and that's it, right? So yeah, that's my.
So you're a very good passenger for well done personalization.
Okay.
Because if you always have that pattern, we as an airline, well, not SAP because you're not flying with us, but
I am sometimes.
But we should know in advance that. That's what you do. You always skip. You just have your seat, front rows, to those destinations, and that's it. We should allow you to have that experience. Okay. Because that's the sort of experience that.
But my point is that, that matters much more than having miles out of my trip. Right?
And you were saying this before in the interview that you were having with Henry, that less is more. Yeah. So less is more in technology, less is more for passengers.
So are there things we should think about in terms of the organizational structure? Rethinking the organizational structure so that you're getting the most value out of it, that you're able to get the data you need or the collaboration you need, the creativity you need. Because we've been on this evolutionary journey now for a decade or more, as we move towards becoming retailing, as we try to make our digital channels more of the central gateway to the customer experience, as we strive to do good jobs as airlines and as partners to airlines. So, Serdar, I want to start with you because you oversee all the data at Turkish, and when we were talking, you have some really interesting perspectives to share on how you really are this hub for the whole airline in your department.
Yeah, to start with, as you mentioned, we are in this data business for more than 10 years, and we have seen a lot, and we experienced the previous organization, and we have experienced that building a data organization and having everything in the center may not work for the future, because we talk about data, and data is not something just the IT guys, just the technology guys is dealing with, because if you want to build a sustainable organization, sustainable business in these days, you need to democratize the data. You need the business units to use that data, and for every decision they are trying to make, for business decision, they need to use this data, because we have started a program at Turkish for the business units to use this data, because we believe that they are in today's world, the business teams are blind when they don't see the data. If they want to open a destination, or if they try to optimize the pricing of a destination, we are using data, not just our data, third-party data from the partners that we have, and we want them to be very much data-focused. That's why we believe every organization should have somebody who works on data, and the IT teams should give the necessary tools for them to work on that data. So at Turkish, we actually started a program 3 years ago. It's named Data Focused Transformation Program. We call it specifically Transformation Program because we want them, all the people in the organization, feel it as a transformation. And we take representatives from all business units, and we gave trainings to them. Some of them basic training about data analysis, and some of them we gave more advanced analytics training, data scientist training. And we built a center of excellence within the IT organization. And whenever they need to solve some problem and use the data, the people who trained on data starts the project, and with the help of the IT team, they build a project team and they work on the matters together, because data teams, IT teams know the technology, but it's a business solution, it's a business problem. So the business teams knows the solution best, and we think it's the best way to make something and improve the organizational effectiveness.
What we have seen with some of our research is consumers routinely say airlines don't do as good a job with their digital experiences as other brands that they use more frequently. Now, in some cases, that may be familiarity breeds its own level of comfort. But how can we work so that the consumer says, you know what, shopping with an airline is as good as my favorite retailer or an entertainment streaming site that I use, or whatever it may be that is a non-airline brand, allowing for the fact that obviously we don't sell hard goods, we sell journeys and experiences. How do we rethink this?
Yeah, it may be an easy question, but lots of talks have been done here on this stage, and for the last 5 years on every travel event. So offer and order focused transformation is needed in airline industry, and we try to make our processes and make our journey, sales journey and other journeys, like an e-commerce platform. Currently, we are dealing with PNRs, e-tickets, and many other legacy stuff of airlines. But when we turn our infrastructure, the main systems, the PSS's reservation systems, into an offer and order platform, we will have a shopping chart like Amazon does or any other e-commerce site does. And people will select the destinations or ancillaries like they select products or goods within the e-commerce platform. And at the end, actually, payment is also a very crucial part of this process. Everybody is experiencing, you can one-click pay with most of the e-commerce sites, especially the big ones. So payment is one of the most crucial parts of this experience, digital experience. That's why it's another focus that we need to improve, and we need to put solutions for the customer experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe just to add over here, I think the element which, and I think maybe you covered already. I think the element which is yes very much a e-com kind of experience, but it has to be a lot of intuitiveness built in. And when I say intuitiveness, I think imagine the usage of, for example, AI. And AI not only being used in the pre-sales or the sales phase, but the post-sales, right? So an integrated experience. So it is easy for me to book, but if there is a flight delay, I should get a quick alert and a quick chance to somebody should automatically reschedule a flight or give me an option, a refund, and it should be just one click and I get a refund back, right? I think so. That is the kind of intuitive and integrated experience from end to end of the customer journey, which I think people are looking for. Which sometimes maybe it is easy for me to book the ticket, but when I have to go again as a fellow, as a traveler, when I have to go through a reschedule or a refund experience, those are the, and I think research has suggested that refund experience is usually the toughest, or the, where the airlines usually score poorly. I think that is the part which maybe can be reimagined in my mind.
Okay. Dirk, as you are working on the transformation of BA.com, is disruption management a big part of what you and your colleagues are looking at, and improving the process to request a refund?
Maybe a quick sentence on the question before. Couldn't agree more. I think the biggest problems around we are operating on PNRs and all this other fancy stuff out of the 1960s. Right? I think a second disadvantage we have is that we usually open in and operate in an open system, so we have interlining and stuff, and most retailers have a closed system, or at least like Amazon controls the system. They define what are the formats. If you want to be part of the party, they define how you bring your data to them. And then thirdly, I think other people throw more money at the problem than airlines recently, let's say, have. And that's where we see retail banking, insurance, and retail basically being in a much better place in average than we are today. To your current question, I talked about the 100% serviceability, and of course that's maybe the most difficult area to get that done, but definitely specifically in a situation where you have an involuntary situation, a disruption, and then you have involuntary changes, you have a huge amount of people usually coming in the same moment, which nobody wants. Somebody talked about storms, US storms, right, where you presumably cancel 1,500 flights in one day and have to deal with it. And the only way to handle that is through automation, and that's why definitely it plays a significant role in what we want to achieve.
Sarah, is this something that you guys are paying more attention to with the digital experience at TAP, the disruption management, refunds, things like this?
Well, the digital, I don't know if it's turned on. It's not.
Should be.
It's turned on.
It's not? No.
Can you take that?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Much simpler like this. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's like 3, 4, 5 questions in one. So, first topic, digital transformation, whatever. Like BA, we are also changing our digital ecosystem from mid to front end. So be aware, by the end of this year, you will see a new TAP online.
Oh, wow.
So, in first hand here, huh? But besides that, yes, disruption is a concern. And as you said, nothing better to solve the disruption rather than having a good OTP. And with that good OTP, a good NPS comes. So it's so unfair, right? We do a lot of huge efforts, and then if you have your operation running smoothly, everything seems to be better. But from a disruption management point of view, yes, we did a lot of changes, mainly since the pandemic. But I can tell you that one critical change is not closely related with technology. We have a fully dedicated team to iRobs. And we review the entire process around the governance, the way we were doing things, and then yes, we got to technology, but we still have a long way ahead to improve the experience, the digital experience in this case, that we enable passengers to have when they are under disruption, which, by the way, is a moment where passengers have a much higher expectation. So people get nervous, get angry, get frustrated, and we fail. We as airlines, we are not yet there. Is it normal? Yes. Is it simple to solve? No. So, but we cannot rely only on passengers to be like patient with that. We really need to improve across the journey and across the areas. Any other question within one?
No, you answer. It's okay.
Great.
I think, and maybe I think in the, we spoke about loyalty management as well. I think, actually during the disruption management is the time when the loyalty actually gets built, right? So there is nothing which we as humans dislike, which is uncertainty, right? So if there is a storm, for example, it will happen. But if as a traveler, I'm getting continuous alerts in terms of, okay, what is the status? At any point in time, if I want to, I need to have options that should I get a reschedule, or should I get a refund, or should I get a voucher, or any other options. I think if that kind of experience starts getting built into the traveler journey, I think then that automatically starts building loyalty other than the air miles and etc. what we already do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that the measure of a good airline is not how it's operating when it's sunny and clear outside, but how does it handle things when there's a storm or a runway closed or whatever that is causing the operation to be less than optimal. And the steps airlines take to empower the customer to serve themselves, I think makes the customer feel more in control, happier,
yes.
And less stressed.
Yes.
So whether it's rebooking or, as you said, proactively saying you're eligible for a refund, or you're eligible for this, or we're going to do that, whatever it may be based on the airline and the model, ultimately makes the consumer feel better because they say, okay, the airline understands something's wrong and they are taking steps to make things better for me. In our last minute, I guess what I would ask is if there's one thing that you would like to see in 2025 occur that would make the digital experience better, what would that be? Sardar, start with you.
Yeah, it's a hard question. So because we have a lot of things on the roadmap, but I can easily say that 360, real 360 for the customers is essential when it becomes disruption or when it becomes to offer better personalized offers. That's why in 2025 we have a current project running on, and we want to have all the necessary information of the customer in order to reach them, of course, again, in disruption and, again, marketing purposes or any other purposes. So we need the information, contact information of the customer to do all the stuff. So I can easily say that so for the next years, we will have more information and more connection with the customers.
Jerome?
Yeah, the one thing that comes to my mind is, and especially in case of disruptions, is data quality. Because what matters the most when a passenger is stressed is to have the good information. So having good data quality is something that is a must. So that's my take for 2025.
Great. Sarah?
Go before me. I'm still thinking because I have a huge wish list, but I need to focus. So, and Christmas is coming, so go ahead.
Yeah, when you asked your question as one wish for 2025.
Yeah, if there's one thing that you would like to see.
My immediate answer would have been improve air traffic control in Europe. And then you said in the digital experience. Yeah. And I think for us it would be scaling our new experience now, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say integrated, I think. End-to-end integrated customer journey experience.
More integrated experience,
yeah.
Okay. Sarah?
You know what? With what we've been doing and the transformation that we're preparing to reveal to the world, I just want not having to roll back. You know, that really, you know, when you think, oh my God, if I have to roll back, we will ruin everything. So I will be very, very humble on this, and my wish to 2025 is really go live and not use the panic button.
That's perfectly fair. On that note, please join me in thanking the panel for these great insights. Serdar, Jerome, Sarah, Dirk, and Herman. Thank you all very much.